I hold here in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers a copy of Augie's Revenge by Kudera. This is a book about three main characters. Augie, of course, one of them. The professor, Michael Vittinger, or maybe Vittinger. Don't know how to pronounce it. He's a humanities professor, philosopher. And another guy, Johnny November, a low-life scumbag. He's a porch pirate, that's how he makes his living. And so these three, they're going to help Augie get some revenge. That's what we got going on here. The main character is not Augie, even though this is Augie's Revenge. The main character is the philosopher who's taken a sympathetic liking to Augie. Augie has had a horrible, horrible upbringing. His stepdad, when Augie was just a small boy, was sexually abusing him, beating him, locking him in a closet and all this. And also there's times when Augie ends up in a like an orphanage type house, group house, and so he's in there with a bunch of other New Jersey black kids that are in there, and he's the only white kid, so he gets attacked in there, so he becomes a racist, a really disgusting type of racist, but he's not making excuses for it, so you're not supposed to be like that, but this kid had a really rough upbringing. And anyway, as Augie turns 18, his mother has passed away. The stepdad took the inheritance from the mother, and Augie feels like he's ripped off. Augie has an older girlfriend. She said, "You're damn right you got ripped off. Now let's go rip him off." So what they do is they forge some checks, try to get money out of his bank account. What happens? Augie's just an 18-year-old kid, right? This older woman doesn't care what happens to him. She gets him into this scam. They get caught. However, Augie's just 18, like I said, so the feds are easy on him. They don't send him to jail. So he got off kind of easy there. He's wants to go to college, but he's not serious about it, as you can imagine. And he does not consider himself a dropout. What he says about himself, "I hadn't really dropped out. It was just that I hadn't enrolled for 3 consecutive semesters." That's Augie's type thinking. So this is a Johnny November guy I'm telling you about, porch pirate guy. They all hang out together, and Johnny is like the more experienced criminal. As a matter of fact, Johnny knew Augie from when he was a kid. Now, he doesn't know exactly what's going on in Augie's life, but he knows it's tough, right? So he kind of takes him under his wing, but what's Johnny got to teach him, right? Johnny's just a low-life thief, so he can't teach Augie how to live a real life, though. So Johnny offers, we get separate sections in this book where Johnny November is his name. He offers 22 lessons on life. As you can imagine, he's a low-life thief. These are cynical lessons that he's learned. The lesson number 2 that he offers in here is about the American Ponzi scheme and the myth of the self-made man. A self-made man ain't shit in the United States, and in fact, for the most part, he doesn't exist. All that libertarian bull and conservative baloney about individual responsibility doesn't slice the cold cuts in the 21st century. Even in the past, it rarely did. Show me a self-made man and I'll show you his made-up story and his falsified records. See, he's kind of cynical, but you know what? It's true. You say people shouldn't be cynical. Well, as long as it's true, you can go ahead and be cynical. This professor, he likes to reflect on the relationship to his father as compared to Augie's father. This professor knows he's had an easier life than Augie. That's part of why he has so much sympathy for him. And this is how the professor's father reacted when the professor was younger and decides he's going to go into the humanities. He fought it loudly and vigorously when I declared that I would pursue a life of the mind. This was at 19 when I told him I'd filled out a form stating that I was a philosophy major. The further I fell into the depths of graduate studies, Marx, Nietzsche, Foucault, the French, the usual progression, the more hopeless he saw it all and the more distant we became from each other. I knew he was disappointed and certain that I was doomed, and I wouldn't learn that he was right until I was in my early 30s. That's how it goes, right? You got your dreams, you're going to have a big academic life, big philosopher. No, that don't work out. You have to see things familiar with a book when you read these. At least I do, right? I want to see myself in it or some event that I've experienced when I read a book. And in Johnny November's lesson number 3, saw 2 things there. That's why Johnny November is my favorite character in this book. One of the things he talks about in this lesson 3, he's telling young people how to get out there and hustle. Don't get a job, get out there and hustle. He tells you how to get free coffee, right? And the way you do it is you go to the Starbucks or whatever the coffee shop is, and you know how the baristas make the drinks, lattes, espressos, whatever, and then you set them out on the counter and you come get the drink. He tells you to go up there and stand around the counter, act like you belong, and when the drinks come up, just go ahead and grab one like it's yours. You know what? That happened to me a few years ago right down here in Pete's. I was waiting for my latte to come out, and then after the rush goes by, 15 minutes is gone, the barista and me are looking at each other, I'm standing there, I ain't got my coffee, and we realized somebody nicked my coffee. I think I know what happened. I think I saw the guy that did it. He was a bearded guy, wasn't too dirty. He went up there, I think he had a cup with him, one of those steel insulated cups, and was asking for free water. While he was at the counter, he got my cup and walked out with it. I think that's what happened. And then there's another lesson in here that Johnny November is giving. It's a lesson that I actually put into effect myself a little over 4 years ago. Like I said, he says, don't get a job. Here's what you do instead. Getting rid of your urges for sex, dope, TV, booze, etc. is critical to your accrual of wealth. That's the only way a regular guy can achieve success and freedom. Always, I mean always, stay focused on priorities. Your survival is number 1. That's survival without working for the man. No 9-to-5er, graveyard shift, or any of that donkey crap. As far as I'm concerned, you go around the wheel but one time, my friend, and you don't want to waste your life working yourself to death. That's for suckers, not you. You deserve better than that. He's right about that. 4.5 years ago, I walked off my job. Not much money in the bank or nothing. It's been a terrible fucking experience, let me tell you that right now. But I did it. So this Johnny November, I see myself in him a lot here. So when you see these 3 lowlifes here, 4 lowlifes counting the professor's girlfriend, Melanie. By the way, her name, Melanie, is spelled M-E-L-O-N-Y, Melon. Get it right? See your boobs there. So you see these lowlifes, and they get this professor in, and they got this scheme going where they're going to go murder Augie's dad. That's the plot of the thing. Then not only that, this stepdad, he's rich too, so they're going to murder him to get Augie's revenge. And Augie says, go ahead and rob him, just take the money. I don't want the money, I just want him dead. So you can see from a plot like this, you got these lowlifes drawn in this professor, there's potential for some plot twists going on. And I'm pretty good at seeing plot twists, guessing them anyway. Let's say about half the time I can guess the plot twist coming up. So plenty of opportunities here for a plot twist. Thing is though, I made about 2 or 3 guesses at 2 or 3 plot twists that were coming up, and I was wrong. It didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. But here's one spoiler. I'll show you right here on the book. Nice book cover, by the way. Look here at Melanie. There's a professor. But Melanie's behind the professor. Look at her hand. It's back there on Augie's thigh. So there's a little bit of a spoiler right there. Okay, Augie's revenge. Do they pull the caper off or not?